I hate the airport. I couldn't help thinking that as I stood in yet another baggage check line. The sounds of warring conveyor belts and clattering shoes filled the space. Parents tried to calm their screaming children, while the elderly in front of me moved like molasses, bringing everything to a standstill. Clerks at each counter gave off 1,000-yard stares, as if they had all just served in a hellish war. Despite my disdain, air travel was a necessary evil for my job. It's hard to be a traveling consultant if, well, I'm not traveling. Some might ask why I don't find another line of work, but starting positions wouldn't give me the salary or benefits I currently have. I approached the counter, handed over my ticket and ID. The woman didn't look at me, punching keys on her computer before asking me to place my bags on the scale. A few moments later, tags printed, bags sent down the conveyor, and I was handed my receipt with a polite, "Enjoy your flight." Despite my misgivings, I planned to enjoy this flight. I'd been traveling non-stop since the start of the year, flying across the country performing inspections at various company locations. This time, I was heading home for a full month off. After security, I made my way to the gate. Arriving early, I found a seat between a family whose kids shouted at an iPad and a man shoveling a sandwich into his face. I turned to my phone to block it all out. Time blurred until an announcement startled me. The flight was boarding. Glancing out the window, I saw the plane sitting at the gate, as if it had been there the entire time. I rubbed my eyes and made my way down the connector. Stepping onto the plane, I felt a strange shift in the air and heavier than normal for just a fraction of a second, then gone. I filed to my seat, silently praying for decent neighbors. My prayers were usually ignored. This time, however, the plane was fairly empty. Only one person sat to my right, a young man scrolling on his phone like I had been earlier. The attendants demonstrated the safety procedures. The plane taxied, then lifted off. I watched the ground fade beneath the clouds, checked my watch, and closed the window shade. I had never been able to sleep on planes, but years of this job taught me how to block everything out. Shortly after drifting off, violent shaking jolted me awake. Heavy turbulence, worse than anything I'd experienced. After a nauseating moment, the plane steadied. That's when I noticed something strange. The young man next to me wasn't looking at his phone. He stared straight ahead. My watch hadn't moved since takeoff. Sliding it to my ear, I realized the battery had died. I peered out the window. My heart seized. The sky was black. No clouds, no sun, just an endless void. Looking down, there was nothing. No ground, no water, only darkness. It didn't make sense. My flight was only 2.5 hours, and I had boarded at 1:30 p.m. Yet here it was, an unnatural night. All the passengers sat motionless, staring ahead. I pulled out my phone. It glowed briefly, then went dark again. Was this a dream? Then I heard it, a sound behind me, like cracking knuckles. I peeked through the narrow space in my chair. Something stood in the rear aisle, nearly scraping the cabin ceiling, tall, thin, impossibly long fingers, cracking and popping as it rested on the seats. When it leaned into one aisle, the lights flickered out one by one. Its eyes locked with mine. I froze, sweat beading on my forehead. The creature moved down the aisle, standing inches from the man next to me. Its face was grotesque. Grey skin, marred with scratches and missing flesh. Its lower jaw was gone, a slimy black tongue dangling from the back of its neck. It stared into the man's eyes, then turned toward me. Its neck extended unnaturally, head floating directly in front of mine. I couldn't breathe. Its ghostly white eyes had no pupils. Seconds stretched into eternity. Slowly its neck retracted, and it moved down the aisle, repeating the process. Suddenly, it stopped a few rows ahead. A shriek filled the cabin. It ripped someone from their seat, dragged them into the aisle, then vanished in a cloud of black smoke. The plane shook violently again. I shut my eyes, praying. When I dared to look again, light peeked through the left window. The young man next to me stared at his phone, unaffected. He noticed my panicked state and asked if I was okay. I exhaled heavily, nodding, calling it a bad dream. The plane landed. As I disembarked, I stopped by the seat where the creature had made its noise. The seats were empty, but one seat belt had been torn in half. My hands shook as I left the plane. Once on solid ground, I leaned against a wall and checked my phone. Something was wrong. An entire week had passed. I had boarded at 1:30 p.m. on Sunday. Now it was 4:15 p.m. on Saturday. My tickets all read 1:30 p.m. Saturday the 7th. I knew that wasn't right. My consultation had ended on Saturday, February 29th, and my flight was the next day. Even my watch confirmed it. The date displayed 1. I have so many questions. What was that thing? Where did it come from? Why did it take the random passenger? Where did it drag them? Why did we all lose a week, but no one else seemed to notice? Nothing about that flight made sense. During my time off, I think I'll apply for a new position. One that never requires me to step foot inside an airport again.
If you are based in the UK and would like to enjoy freshly batch roasted coffee delivered to your door, visit vitalcoffee.co.uk and use the coupon code mrfreakystory to get 10% off from all products. I will leave a link in the description below.